In a serene African village, nestled within lush landscapes, there once lived a young and happily newly-wedded couple, Ikenna and Ada. Ikenna is a woodcutter, while Ada is a petty trader. Ikenna is a very handsome man and Ada is also a very beautiful woman. Both Ada and Ikenna are very hardworking, diligent, humble, and they are loved by everyone in the village. Shortly after their wedding, Ada became pregnant with their first child, and the couple was very happy and could not wait for the arrival of their bundle of joy. However, tragedy struck as Ada died while giving birth to their daughter, Dima. Ikenna was devastated after the death of his wife. His old mother took great care of Dima while Ikenna wallowed in despair and self-pity. After a while, his mother called him aside and told him it is time to take a new wife. My dear Ikenna, it's been 19 months since our dearest Ada passed on. I know it's not been easy on you, but you need to get a new maiden to become your wife. I am aging and getting weaker by the day. You need a wife to take care of your daughter and build a family with. 2 months after Ikenna and his mother had this discussion, he eventually met a woman who he believed is kind-hearted and diligent enough to build a family with. Unbeknownst to him, Ego only put on a kind persona because she is looking for a husband to marry her. Ego gave birth to Ineamaka and the family lived in peace. But as the saying goes, character is like smoke. No matter how you cover it, it will find its way out. Years passed and Ego's true character started coming out little by little. The two children were blossoming into young adults and everyone would shower Dima with praises and compliments because she is gracious, kind, and loves to play with little children. Ineamaka started becoming jealous of these compliments as she feels less seen and less beautiful to Dima. So she started complaining to her mother about Dima. Unknown to Ineamaka, her mother had noticed a long time before and started growing resentment towards Dima. But now that her daughter is complaining, her evil mind cannot hold back her resentment and she started changing towards Dima. Ikenna's woodcutting business is taking off as people in the village are no longer building houses with thatched roof. There is more demand for wood and Ikenna, being the village major woodcutter, is now busier than ever. This means he spends more time away from home, giving Ego all the chances she needed to maltreat Dima. She will give Dima the greatest portion of house chores and the smallest portion of food. Dima will wash all the clothes, plates, sweep the whole compound with very little food in her stomach. So many nights she will go to bed hungry. If she tell her stepmother she is hungry, she will rain insults on her and ask her to go and get food from her mother in the grave. When all this started, Dima was confused and would think she had committed an offense, so she will do everything in her power to appease her stepmother. But as time goes on, she realized no matter how much she tried, her stepmother wouldn't change her attitudes towards her. The more Ego and her daughter Ineamaka maltreats Dima, the stronger and more beautiful Dima is growing and the more the villagers loved her. At this point, Ineamaka has grown evil mind just like her mother. She is rude and cold towards everyone, while Dima carries herself around the village with grace, radiating beauty. Ineamaka walks around the village with frowns and sullen face, not allowing her beauty to shine. Every year during the harvest season, the villagers will gather and celebrate at the village square. Young maidens will dance to get the attention of the most eligible bachelors in the village. Everyone will eat and drink to their heart's fill. The king's oldest son, Obinna, the heir to the throne, had just returned from Akuzu, the land of warriors, and rumors going round the villages that the prince will be choosing his bride in the coming festival. Every young maiden in the village started getting ready for this day. Ego, knowing that her daughter might not be the best choice, started plotting for ways to make her daughter outshine every other maiden in the village. She especially could not bear the thought of Dima perchance being the choice of the prince. So she decided to visit Ordinani, the village wicked witch, who has been banished from the village and now lives inside the bush at the outskirts of the village. Ordinadi gave her a potion and told her that she would stand, potion in hand, under the great omo tree in the forest. For the whole period the maidens will dance. As long as she is holding the potion under the tree during the dance, Nneamaka will be the center of attention. Listen carefully. On no account should this potion touch the ground. If it does, there will be dire consequences. Ego replied Ordinadi, I will make sure it does not touch the ground, great Ordinadi. Ego took the potion, thanked the old witch and went back home, happy and assured that her daughter will definitely steal everyone's shine at the festival. The day of the yam festival arrived, and all the maidens in the village, dressed beautifully, fully prepared and ready to be an eye candy to the prince and other potential suitors. The villagers gathered at the village square for the ceremony. Children jumped and ran happily around the village square. There were different dishes made from yam, ranging from pounded yam and egusi soup, yam pottage, yam fried in red oil sauce, etc. Everyone was filled with happiness. Soon enough, it was time for the maidens to dance at the center of the village square. Ego quickly ran to the forest to go and stand under the omo tree with the potion in her hand. The maidens were surrounded by eager spectators, with the king and his household and the chief and the village elders sat regally in front of the village square. The dance commenced and the maidens danced beautifully to the sweet melody coming from the greatest drummers of the village and the loud cheers of onlookers. Soon enough, Nneamaka's dance got the attention of everyone in the gathering, so much that it seems all other maidens on the dance floor are inexistent. She was very happy that only her got people's attention, especially the prince. She was so sure that the prince will pick her as his bride-to-be. Meanwhile, Ego is in the forest with the potion in her hand. Just as the dance is about to come to an end, a giant scorpion came out of nowhere and stung Ego. She shrieked in horror from the pain and didn't know when she dropped the potion. Just as the potion hit the ground, Ego remembered the old witch's warning. On no account must this potion touch the ground. Ego screamed and started running to the village square to see her daughter. At the village square, the beautiful Nneamaka, who has been dancing so well to the delight of everyone, started transforming right in front of everybody. People were taken aback. It took few seconds for Nneamaka to realize something is wrong as she is so engrossed in her dance. She stopped dancing, her eyes flashing as she watched herself helplessly transforming. Her beauty fading like petals wilted by a bitter frost. Her flawless skin turned ashen, marred by gnarled lines that crept across her face. Her once luminous eyes dimmed, clouded with shadows, and her once luscious hair hung on her head lifeless. The villagers watched in shock as none of them had witnessed anything like it before. They wondered what kind of mystical force could render this kind of drastic and haunting change. Ego arrived in time to see her daughter totally transformed into an indescribable level of ugly. She started crying and shouting at the same time, calling on the villagers to save her daughter, and she started confessing to everyone who cared to listen how she got a potion from Odinadi, the wicked witch in the forest, because she wants her daughter to outshine every other maiden, especially Dima, her stepdaughter, and how the potion dropped on the ground against Odinadi's warning that the potion should not touch the ground. The villagers were shocked to hear this revelation, as it was forbidden for anyone to interact with Odinadi, as she had been banished from the village. The king and the elders who also witnessed this incident quickly gathered and resolved to send Oge and her daughter out of the village as punishment. The moment the king passed this judgment, Dima stepped forward to beg the king and elders to spare her sister Inamaka, as she is only a victim of her mother's evil ways. Her father Ikenna, emboldened by Dima's bravery, also stepped forward to beg on behalf of Inamaka. Few other villagers who felt pity for Inamaka also joined. It was at this moment that Obinna the prince noticed Dima, as the only person who had the spotlight the entire time was Inamaka before the strategy struck her. Obinna watched in awe and admiration as Dima gracefully pleaded on behalf of her sister. He was struck by her beauty and courage and immediately said to himself, this is my wife, the future queen of the great Umoke kingdom. The king accepted their pleas and decided to spare Inamaka, but her mother Ego must never set foot on the village soil from that moment on. They thanked the king and the crowd dispersed as the yam festival came to an abrupt end. In the days that followed, the village was abuzz with the news of the unexpected turn of events at the yam festival, and tales of the striking beauty turned to a haunting ugliness traveled from Umoke village into neighboring villages. Ego had left the village, never to return, and Inamaka would sit sadly in her father's hut all day long, staring into space. Dima, now free from the torment of her stepmother, became even more beloved in the village. Her kindness towards Inamaka, her sister, and her courage to step forward and plead at the festival earned her respect and admiration from everyone. The king was particularly impressed by her grace and beauty, so much that when Obinna the prince told him his intentions towards Dima, he was more than eager to give his blessings. The royal family approached Ikenna and Dima with a proposal, which they accepted with pride and humility. Obinna and his father, the king, was pleased with the outcome of their proposal. The engagement was announced and the entire village happily began preparations for a grand wedding. The wedding day was a spectacle of beauty, love, and unity. Dima, adorned in shimmery fabrics and beautiful beads, looked like a queen. The newlyweds exchanged vows in front of the entire village in the presence of the village chief priests, symbolizing their strengths of their love and their dedication to leadership, guided by the principles of compassion and unity. While the wedding was going on, Inamaka, the only villager who wasn't at the wedding venue, wept her heart out as she kept wondering why her mother had put her in such a bad situation. The villagers ate and drank their hearts' fill. They all danced and married till late evening when the golden sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the village. Dima and Prince Obinna retired into the royal chambers where their love was to be sealed as the villagers dispersed one by one. Enchanted with Dima's grace and beauty, the prince asked her to request for anything her heart desires as her wedding gift, and he shall grant it to her. And she replied, "My prince, there is one thing that weighs heavily on my heart. My stepsister Inamaka is a victim of her mother's misguided actions. I humbly request that you use your influence and power to free her from the shackles of the spell that has befallen her. Let her find redemption and a chance to live a life free from darkness." The prince agreed that no one should be condemned to a life of suffering caused by the mistakes of others, and he promised to talk to his father about it. Dima was happy and thanked her husband. On the request of Prince Obinna, the king ordered the village priests to consult the oracle on how to get Nnamaka out of her predicament. Atonements were offered to the gods, and after several days of rituals, Nnamaka transformed back to her former beautiful self. She was so happy, she expressed her gratitude to the entire royal household and the priests for their help. She thanked her sister and father for staying with her throughout her difficult time. Nnamaka became a changed person as she lived a diligent life devoid of envy and bitterness. She started to appreciate the beauty in others without feeling threatened. She embraced kindness, compassion, and a genuine desire to connect with those around her. The bond between her and her sister Dima became stronger as they both showed unconditional love towards each other, and this made Ikenna, their father, a very happy man. Nnamaka misses her mother terribly. Despite her mother's misguided actions and the consequences they brought, her love for her remained. To fill the void of her mother's absence, she started to learn a trade. She immersed herself in her chosen trade with dedication and resilience. Over time, Nnamaka's hard work paid off, and she became not only proficient but also highly successful in her chosen trade. Ego, now a changed person, had settled down in a nearby village and was living a simple life. She started a small farm to feed herself and get small money to buy things she needed. She was getting news of everything that is happening at Umoke through people who go to trade there. She is happy that her daughter got redemption and is living a meaningful life. What did you learn from this story? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you and God bless you.